We have just encountered a tree that has various physic qualities that resemble that of a living bit of flesh, at least, if not something more significant. And now here we are presented with the opportunity, an open-ended query of what our options are in a game that is largely based upon branching pathways in text or dialogue choices. This is quite a good divergence from the aforementioned, and it admits of far more potentials for the imagination of the player. Being able to break off your more bounded or perhaps even, you could say, railroaded options with something a little bit more sandbox can genuinely offer quite a refreshing and exploratory pathway for anyone who is engaged in a more particular activity. Something where one's decisions are far more critical, especially in the moment. Much as with the rest of the self-related options of dialogue, several locations out from the starting area, we are yet being able to further explore and expand our character's backstory and further assert our footing for not only how this particular area will approach us, but the entirety of the folks throughout the peninsula. It's something that ought to be observed and considered, as in the experience of many games, both tabletop and fixed path, oftentimes the immediate circumstance gets lost in the midst of whatever is being expressed or explained at the time. Continuing to reinforce the exploration of the character shows that not only is there more to expound, but also that the world itself is not so superficial that it can be expressed in a small handful of exchanges. I happily look around. And glad that I did. Of all of the ways of expediting, since we do have already established the necessity of properly exploring things and places to have them highlighted in our view of the world, the map here in specific, simply allowing the character to climb to a peak, in particular the watchtower, is an excellent way of making that happen, putting one not only in further communication and contact with the environs themselves, but also the characters that are directly linked to it, in this case, the city guard. On top of letting us get a full look of the place from the tower, we also have here the verisimilitude of a location that has made its mark in a good way and kept its place in the midst of this untamed peninsula, where there is fresh water and the opportunity to irrigate. I think that there is a lot to be said for the careful consideration put into where exactly they plopped down a big village, and furthermore, how they built out their map to enable that reflection. Considering they've not only asserted themselves on a stream, if not a proper river, judging by the depiction here, but also they have set forth a genuine, sturdy city wall, fully encircling the entirety of it, and have proper cultivations and fields all around, unlike the previous ruined village. I would say that this is not only a place that is worth admiring from their perspective, but also from the world-building perspective. Allow me to extol the virtues of managing to make a meal properly, of the period, of the resources that are available in the setting appropriately, not overcome with rich spices, not overwhelming with some sort of massive festivity or flair to the whole thing, but a simple, hearty meal made of the meats, vegetables, and cooking methods that they have available to them right here in a small village on a river with some pastures and some fields. There are many extremes that can be taken in narrativizing the culinary traditions of a place and its peoples, but accounting for not only the means and methods they possess, but also the mode by which they come to be possessed and produced, without falling to rugged, grimdark-esque callousness, belittling the traditions of the individuals in light of our contemporary realities, or blowing it out of proportion as though it is some sort of truly, unbelievably, incomparably fantastic affair, without any heed for what is actually available to those here, to the peoples that produce it, is a proper feat of world building and applied lore. It can't help but bring a smile to my face. At the end of A Path to the Unknown, here we today close out. I thank you all for attending, those that did, and those that we'll be reviewing in the future. If you enjoyed the content here, we are on X, Instagram, Spotify, as well as coming to be BitChute and TikTok. And if you wish to join us for perhaps a little bit more directly engaged conversation, the Threefold Edifactory on Discord. There's always one-time donations that could be made by Stream Elements, as is linked in the description, or if you wish to be on a more subscriptive basis, Patreon. Last but not least, I hope to see you all in the next entry to our series. Until then, never miss your opportunity.